You've probably heard some version of this line. You become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. It gets thrown around in business seminars, usually when they talk about income or ambition. People treat it like a motivational poster. Here's what most people don't realize. When it comes to your weight and your health, that's not a motivational poster. It's a documented, measurable effect. Who you spend your time with changes your risk of obesity, changes whether you go to the doctor, changes whether heavy drinking feels normal, and it changes whether your weight loss actually lasts. I'm Dr. Greg Oliver, and in this Factor 5 in our 5 Factors of Medical Weight Loss series, Psychological Strengthening. Today, we're talking about support, why you need it, what the research actually shows, and what a real support circle actually looks like. Let's start with the uncomfortable half of this. A landmark study out of the Framingham Health Study, published in the New England Journal of Medicine back in 2007 by Christakis and Fowler, they followed more than 12,000 people over 32 years and mapped their social ties, friends, siblings, spouses, and neighbors. What they found was that obesity showed up in clusters. If a close friend became overweight, a person's own risk of becoming obese rose substantially over the following years. The effect was strongest between close friends, and it extended out to 3 degrees of separation, meaning your friend's friend's friend can influence your weight, even if you've never met them. Now, I want to be fair to the science here. Other researchers have pushed back on exactly how much of that is a direct contagion versus people simply choosing friends who already share their habits and their environment. That debate's legitimate, but even the critics agree on underlying pattern here. Our habits cluster with the habits of the people around us. You already know this intuitively. If your circle drinks alcohol heavily, moderate drinking starts to look abnormal, and you drink more than you would on your own. If the people around you skip their annual physical and avoid the doctor and shrug off symptoms, you skip appointments too. It becomes the norm rather than the exception. Nobody sits down and talks you into this. It just becomes what's normal, and normal becomes powerful. Here's the good news. The same mechanism runs in the other direction, and the data on this is even more encouraging. One of the classic trials in this field split participants into 2 recruitment groups. One group enrolled in a weight loss program alone. The other group enrolled together with 3 friends or family members, and they received the same program plus structured social support strategies. The difference wasn't small. In the group that went it alone, about 3/4 completed treatment, and roughly 1 in 4 had kept their weight off a full 10 months later. In the group that came with friends and social support built in, completion jumped up to about 95%, and 2 out of 3, or 2/3, had fully maintained their weight loss at that same 10-month mark. Now, that's not a minor edge. That's the difference between a program that mostly fails long-term and one that mostly works long-term. And the only variable that changed was whether people had support built into the process. We see the same pattern in other trials. A faith-based weight loss program run through Appalachian churches found that increases in social support for eating habits and physical activity were a key reason the intervention worked at all. A digital program out of Scotland, built specifically around recruiting a personal helper, found participants leaned on that support constantly, often reaching out to their helper even outside the app entirely, because having a person who already cared about them mattered more than the technology. The pattern across all of this research is consistent. Support isn't a nice add-on to willpower. For most people, it's the difference between temporary weight loss and permanent weight loss. So, if support is the variable that makes or breaks long-term success, the obvious question is, what does real support actually look like? Now, I don't mean a well-meaning spouse who tells you, you can do it. I mean a structured circle. In our experience, it comes down to 5 pieces. The first one is a knowledgeable physician who actually cares, not someone who hands you a prescription and moves on to the next room. Someone who understands metabolic health, hormones, and the whole picture of why your weight isn't moving in the right direction, and who treats you like a person they're invested in, not a chart number. Number 2, nutritional support. Someone helping you build a plan you can actually live on, not some generic diet sheet handout. Number 3, coaching. A person checking in between visits, helping you troubleshoot the week you're actually having, not the week a textbook assumes you're having. Number 4, an accountability partner. Someone who notices when you go quiet, who you don't want to disappoint, and who celebrates the win with you when the scale finally moves and heads downward. And number 5, like-minded people around you day to day, family, friends, or community that treats eating well, exercising, and taking your health seriously as normal, not weird, not extreme, and not something to undermine with a joke at dinner time. This is how we built our medical weight loss practice. When we see patients, they don't get one relationship, they get a team, a physician and a nurse practitioner who manage their medical care, their labs, their hormones, their metabolic treatment, and 3 coaches who live a healthy lifestyle themselves, who are active, health-focused, investing in doing what they're doing well past the age of 50, who check in with a patient at whatever level they need, whether that's a quick weekly text or a sit-down conversation. We built it in this way on purpose because we've watched what happens without it. Going it alone is too hard. Even highly motivated, disciplined people burn out when they're the only one holding themselves accountable. That's not a character flaw. It's just how we as people work. And the research backs that up. Before you go, I want to leave you with one exercise, something to do. Take 30 seconds and think of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Ask yourself honestly, do they support the healthy version of you? Or do they make it harder? Where's the gap? Is it medical care, nutrition, coaching, accountability, or the community you hang with? Whatever that gap is, that's where to start. Now, I'm going to try and put a circle of worksheet up here that gives you a description on how to help you map it out. And if what's missing is a medical piece, a physician and a coaching team who actually stay with you is needed. If you're in central Indiana, that could be us. If not, search your area for that team. This is Dr. Greg Oliver, and I want to thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video in this series.